Malaysia will fully reopen its borders to international travellers on the 1st of April, in a move that's likely to boost its economic recovery. It comes 2 years after the country slammed its doors shut due to the pandemic. International visitors will only need valid travel documents to enter and leave, while Malaysians will be able to travel freely to other countries with borders that are also open. Prime Minister Ismail Sabri announced the much-anticipated move today. And Afif Arifin joins us live from Johor Bahru. Afifa, what did the Prime Minister say about the impact of this reopening?
That's right, Wesu. After days of anticipation, the Prime Minister of Malaysia, Ismail Sabri, has finally announced that the borders will be fully open from the 1st of April as the country begins its transition into the endemic phase. Now, this marks the final step in lifting restrictions, especially as more than half of the adult population had already received their booster dose. Now, what this means, what the border reopening means, is that Malaysians will be able to travel freely to other countries with similar open borders, and international travellers will be able to come into Malaysia without having to serve quarantine. They will just need to take a PCR test 2 days before they depart and an antigen rapid test when they arrive into Malaysia. Of course, Malaysians can still utilise the vaccinated travel lanes with other countries whose borders are still not fully open yet. Now, this move is seen as a boost to tourism and travel industry, which we know had been hit very hard by the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, the border reopening applies to all entry points in Malaysia, including land travel via the Singapore-Johor Bahru checkpoints. But more details on this will be announced by the relevant ministries and agencies in the days to come. But already the news has been very much welcomed, especially here in the southern state of Johor. You know, Malaysians who used to commute daily to Singapore for work and who are now living across the causeway can come back to see their families without quarantine. And businesses who, as we know, had been struggling to stay afloat over the last 2 years because of the loss of Singaporean customers, because the borders were closed, these businesses can now be revived. Let's listen in to what else the Prime Minister said in his speech earlier.
Kita percaya dengan pembukaan sempadan negara ini bukan saja memberikan kebebasan kepada rakyat kita untuk keluar negara dan juga rakyat negara lain datang ke Malaysia. Kita percaya ini akan meningkatkan ekonomi kita, ya, dan kita percaya industri pelancongan yang begitu terkesan akibat daripada penutupan sempadan ini boleh dibuka sepenuhnya.
But Afifa, we did see Malaysia's daily COVID-19 cases hit record highs last week. Is the healthcare system ready to cope with the potential influx of visitors?
Well, that's right. The move to transition into the endemic phase does come as the country is still going through the Omicron wave. COVID-19 cases hitting record highs, surpassing the 30,000 marks, in the last couple of days. But Prime Minister Ismail Sabri said that the government felt it was suitable to begin the transition because of the high vaccination rates in the country. 98% of the adult population had already gotten two doses, and 64% of them had already gotten their booster jabs as well. The percentage of severe infections of COVID-19 cases stands very low, 0.7%, and the number of COVID-19 patients who require treatment or observation at the intensive care unit stands at 42% of the total capacity. So things are still, at this point, very much under control. But whether the healthcare system can cope with the potential influx of travellers and how they will go about to prepare for this potential influx, that remains to be seen. We will have to listen into more details from the Health Minister, Kari Jamaluddin, at his press conferences tomorrow.
Thanks for the Afif Arifin for us there in Johor Bahru.